Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast episode of the InTransit podcast. I'm your host, Nurfad Nadarovich. This will be episode number 6. With respect, we will be talking about pilot cars, escort vehicles, and the laws and requirements by state. And in general, the rules that are abided by when it comes to pilot vehicles, escort vehicles, etc. in the world of logistics. With respect to oversized and overweight loads on public highways, the rules and requirements are largely the responsibility of each state, and therefore may vary, sometimes significantly from one state to another, including when a pilot or escort vehicle is required for any specific load instance. Typically, a vehicle carrying an oversized dimensional load must be accompanied by one or more pilot cars if the load is more than 12 feet wide and or 14 and a half feet high and or exceeds 90 to 100 feet in length. In many states, if the width is 14 feet or more wide, 2 pilot cars are required, one leading and one following. But you should note that these are common over dimensions and state requirements. Each state may have additional requirements. Operators of over-dimensional and overweight loads are cautioned to review the requirements of each state within which they want to operate in. When permits are issued, the issuing state agency will indicate if and how many pilot escort vehicles will be required. When it comes to wide loads, as the load exceeds the trailer width, state-issued permits, safety flags, and an oversized banner will be required. As the width increases, flashing lights and or one or more escort vehicles may be required. If the load width exceeds the normal lane width of the road, escort vehicles will be required and additional route reviews may also be required. As you move into superload territory, expect weeks or even months for permit approvals from each state along the route. Additionally, third-party reviews, police escorts, utility approval, and other safety checks may be required. When it comes to tall loads, 13 feet and 6 inches and below is a legal height on the interstate where you can pass all bridges with no issues. Again, with exceptions, mind you. When you exceed 13 feet and 6 inches in height, most states, but not all, require a permit to guide the truck along, and a front pole escort may be required. Even greater heights may require additional route surveys, mandatory front pole escort cars, and other requirements that may vary due to varying safety standards in each state. At these heights, you have to be routed off highways to avoid overpasses, and bucket trucks may be required to lift wires and remove overhead signs, and very likely police escorts will be needed. As the height of the transported load increases, some states may deny travel, while others require so many additional reviews that it may take up to a year to obtain a permit. Again, note that just because one state approves your exit from that state doesn't mean another border state will approve your entrance. This is what makes overheight loads especially tricky. Generally, loads wider than 13 feet, longer than 100 feet, and or taller than 14 feet require at least 2 pilot escort vehicles, one in front and one behind. Again, the precise dimensions and the requirements vary by state. For example, Massachusetts requires a pilot escort for loads more than 12 feet wide and 2 pilot escort vehicles for loads more than 13 feet, 6 inches wide. Ohio requires a pilot escort vehicle for loads more than 13 feet wide and 2 pilot escort vehicles for loads more than 14 feet, 6 inches wide, and police escort for loads that exceed 16 feet. For over-dimensional heights, Massachusetts has the lowest maximum height of 8 feet, 8 inches, and that requires 1 pilot escort, while heights more than 13 feet 11 inches, require 2 pilot escort vehicles, front and rear. If the height exceeds 14 feet, 11 inches, Massachusetts requires 2 pilot escort vehicles and a police escort. Meanwhile, Alabama lists only a requirement for 1 pilot escort vehicle for anything more than 16 feet high. Generally, states west of the Mississippi River allow heights up to 14 feet before an escort is required, while for most states east of the Mississippi, the maximum height is 13 feet 6 inches. Operators, however, are cautioned to check the specific over-dimensional limits for each state through which they plan to travel. When it comes to the certification of pilot escort vehicle operators, a pilot escort vehicle operator must be at least 18 years old, 21 in some states. Currently, 12 states require a pilot escort vehicle to be certified. Certification is obtained by taking a 1-day certification course provided in each of the 12 states and passing a written test at the end of the course. The pilot escort vehicle operator may be required to recertify every 3 to 5 years. Some states recognize the certifications of other states. Several states do not recognize other state certifications and therefore permit only pilot escort vehicle operators certified within that state. For example, New York. Even states with reciprocal agreements often require a pilot escort vehicle operator from one state to check in and register with other states at the first available inspection station. States that require a pilot escort vehicle certification are listed in the online category where you can find this information. If you would like, you can also reach out to me. I can provide this information for you without any issues. Even in states where pilot escort vehicle operators certification is not required, it is beneficial for pilot escort vehicle operators to take a driver improvement course. In addition to sharpening driving and safety skills, completion of the courses often qualifies the operator for lower insurance rates. States that currently require pilot escort vehicle certifications are as follows. Always, again, take this with a grain of salt. You should always confirm, double check, make sure everything is up to date. But the states that do require certifications at this moment in time is Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Minnesota, Nevada, New Mexico, New York, Oklahoma, and Virginia. The key pilot escort vehicle operator attributes and skills. Professionalism is a key attribute. Driving an escort vehicle is more than just leading or following an oversized load. It requires understanding of what the truck driver needs in terms of assistance and what is needed to maintain the safety of all vehicle operators in the vicinity of the load. Drivers need to be vigilant for any hazards, slowdowns, and other challenges the truck driver may face. Clear and precise communications is a fundamental skill to effectively act as a pilot escort vehicle operator. Communications equipment must be dependable and easily understood. The recommended mode of communication is via a citizens band CB radio. It is easier to use than a cell phone and will be received by the truck driver and other PEVOs involved. Driving skills are important. In addition to driving the vehicle, the pilot escort vehicle operator must understand the requirements of the truck driver and his load and be vigilant for conditions that would affect the safe operation of the truck and the load. All pilot escort vehicle operators, especially drivers over the age of 55, should consider taking a driver improvement or defensive driving course. Available courses include the American Automobile Association's RoadWise program or the American Association of Retired Persons Smart Driver course. Many states also offer defensive driving courses. Successful completion of such a course may also earn discounts on insurance premiums. Whether required by law or not, the benefits of lower insurance premiums and the importance of learning about and hearing reminders of safe driving practices is a good investment of time and money, an efficient way to mitigate risk. It is recommended the drivers take such courses every 3 to 5 years. Pilot escort vehicle operators represent the trucking company that they are working for. While a professional appearance and manner are recommended, pilot escort vehicle operators are prohibited from displaying any badge, shield, emblem, or uniform of color or design that may be mistaken for a law enforcement badge, emblem, or uniform. Pilot escort vehicle operators should be physically fit, mentally alert, and well rested before beginning any trip. Adequate hearing, vision, and physical mobility are especially important for safe traffic control operations. When it comes to the vehicle equipment requirements to be a pilot escort, there is wide flexibility regarding the size and type vehicles to be used as an escort vehicle. Some states require that escort vehicles must weigh at least 2,000 pounds or be at least quarter-ton pickup trucks. Some states simply specify that the pilot escort vehicle operators have a clear 360-degree field of vision from the driver's seat. This requirement could rule out panel trucks or vans. The Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, or the CVSA, the Specialized Carriers Rigging Association, which is the SCNRNA, and the Federal Highway Administration, among other groups, recommend the equipment shown in the list that we just discussed be carried in each escort vehicle. Escort vehicles are also required to have a large, appropriate wide load warning sign, either mounted on top of the vehicle or the front and rear of the vehicle that conforms to the requirements of the states through which they are traveling. Escort vehicles may be required to display placards or signs identifying the pilot or escort company's name, location, and phone number. Company logos are permitted that promote the operator's pilot escort vehicle operating services. Note, the wide load signs do not have to be removed when the pilot escort vehicle is not performing escort duties. Many states also require warning flags mounted on the escort vehicles. Depending on the state, either 2 or 4 flags are required. Some states require the flags that are 12 inches square, while others require 18 inches square. Most states will accept safety markings that exceed their requirements. For example, 18-inch square flags would be acceptable if the state required only 12-inch square flags. Typically, the escort cars are expected to have a rotating, flashing amber light mounted on top of the vehicle with a light that is visible at 500 feet. If the truck is hauling hazardous materials, the escort vehicles should have appropriate first aid kits, protective gloves, masks, and clothing to protect drivers and pilot escort vehicles in the event of a spill. Also, a height or measuring pole is required if the load exceeds 14 feet above the road surface. The height pole must be mounted on the lead vehicle. The basic recommended equipment in each escort vehicle is a mileage record book, oversized load signs, two-way radios, the CBs, 4 flags, vehicle flags, 4 flags that are emergency traffic control related, 8 reflective triangles, 12 safety road flares, warning lights, hard hats, safety vests, reflective safety jackets, 2 flashlights, first aid kit, stop and slow paddle, approved fire extinguisher, full-size spare tire, tire changing tools, spare parts, fluids, spare bulbs for all lights, vehicle mirrors, and last but not least, measuring pole. Moving any overdimensional load is a team event. While the truck driver is responsible for the safe operation of the truck, the pilot escort vehicle operators are essential partners in achieving that safety and expediting the protecting both the truck and its load, as well as the drivers of other vehicles sharing the highway. And when you look at some different ways that different states look at this, I mean, there is so much material out there. I could literally talk about this for the next 5-6 hours. Not sure if that would be beneficial, but as an example, we could use Alabama. Alabama's pilot car and escort vehicle requirements are different than other states, just by way of that state going about their safety protocols when it comes to overdimensional or oversized loads, essentially. The Alabama Department of Transportation may require that permitted vehicles use front or rear escorts when deemed necessary. Escorts are required but are not limited to the following: over height vehicles or loads. The front escort with height indicator is required for heights greater than 15 feet and 6 inches. Over width vehicles or loads. Loads greater than 12 feet and up to 14 feet wide require one front escort on 2-lane roads or one rear escort for multi-lane roads. Loads greater than 14 feet wide require one front and one rear escort on all roads. For mobile homes, the rear escort may be replaced by the following described lighting system: 2 flashing or strobe lights visible for 360 degrees at 500 feet shall be mounted 6 feet above ground level on the rear corners of the mobile home. Control of the lighting system shall be inside the tractor cab with a warning device to alert the driver in the event the lighting system malfunctions. If the lighting system malfunctions, the driver is to proceed to the first area where the load can be safely removed from the roadway and parked until the lighting system is repaired. Again, this is just Alabama. Every single state has its own way of going about this when it comes to the escort vehicle requirements. Furthermore, for Alabama, for example, the escort vehicle shall be a properly licensed single unit vehicle, example, passenger automobile, pickup truck, SUV, etc., with an unobstructed view and clear line of sight in all directions. A flatbed truck or service vehicle may be used if it maintains an unobstructed view and clear line of sight in all directions. No vehicle towing a trailer can be used as an escort vehicle. Escort vehicles must be equipped with flashing or strobe amber lights that are visible 360 degrees at 500 feet. The escort's headlights shall be set at low beam at all times. All vehicles supporting the move shall be able to contact each other, including escort vehicles, law enforcement escorts, and the permitted vehicle. A sign shall be mounted on the front and rear of any escort vehicle or above the roof line where it is visible from the front and rear. The sign shall contain the wording "oversized load" in black letters on a yellow background. The size of the sign shall be relative to the size of the escort vehicle so that the entire message may be seen completely and clearly. The letters shall be 10 inches high with a 1.4 inch to 1.5 inch brush stroke. No other signage is allowed. The banner shall only be attached or visible during the transportation of the permitted load. A front escort shall provide enough space between it and the permitted load or combination of vehicles and load to warn oncoming traffic of the presence of the oversized load. Notify the vehicles facilitating the move of any road hazards that could affect safe movement of traffic in sufficient time for the driver of the permitted load to take remedial action and locate, to the extent necessary, a safe place adjacent to the highway to protect public safety and the efficient movement of traffic and other matters reasonably necessary for safe movement. A rear escort shall warn traffic approaching from the rear of the presence of the oversized load. Notify the driver of the permitted load of any problems. For example, objects coming loose from the load, traffic approaching or passing the overdimensional load, traffic buildup, that could affect the safe and efficient movement of traffic in sufficient time for the driver to take remedial action as necessary, and be far enough behind the permitted load to assist in lane maneuvers and any other matters reasonably necessary for safe movement. Mobile home escorts shall be in front on 2-lane roads and shall move to the rear of the mobile home on multi-lane roads to assume the duties of a rear escort even with the approved lighting system. The non-emergency use of cell phones or other portable electronic devices other than those designated to support the movement of the specific oversized combination vehicle except to communicate hazard-related information is prohibited. Drivers of escort vehicles must be a minimum of 18 years of age in Alabama, having a valid driver's license, and have completed a pilot escort flagging course which equals or exceeds Alabama's course within 12 months of Alabama's course availability. So that's just Alabama. Like I said, each state has its own sort of deal when it comes to escort vehicles that are required, pilot escort vehicle operator requirements. Each state has their own sort of way to go about it. The front end vehicle, how it should perform, the rear escort, how it should perform, what type of load is being moved. That all matters when it comes to this type of stuff. So safety is key. Safety is beauty. Safety is life. Safety is literally everything in these procedural strategies that these states come up with. So well put together by them. Like I said, this could be 5, 6, 7, 10 hours long, just talking about every single state in the US and every province even in Canada. So if you would like, you can reach out to me. I can definitely pass along this information so you have it readily available for yourself. That's not a problem whatsoever. Reach out to me by any means that you deem fit, and we can go from there. But again, thank you for listening. This is like I said, in logistics, it's you can learn every day for your entire career and never get enough. Literally never get enough. There is always something to learn, and it's an industry where you're continuously adding tools, knowledge to be a better service provider, whether you're asset-based, non-asset-based, or some intermediary that's involved in the movement of freight, for example, escort vehicles. And who knows, maybe after listening to this, someone from Alabama wants to get in touch and wants to maybe, move a few loads. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wants to become a pilot escort operator or, a pilot escort company in essence. So like I said, it's a beautiful industry. There's so many moving parts and pieces and segments and fragments that it's unbelievable. Anyways, thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a lot of information at once, but like I said, knowledge is power. If you'd like, you can reach out to me via LinkedIn. Just search for Nurf, N-U-R-F, Nadarevic, N-A-D-A-R-E-V-I-C, and you will find me. I'm the bald-headed looking guy on LinkedIn and the logistics guy, like they say. So, thank you again for listening. God bless. Keep it moving. Keep it trucking. Keep it locating. Keep it searching. Keep it tracking. Keep it tracing. Whatever you want to say. This episode today, episode number 6, has been brought to you by absolutely no one, as we do not have sponsors at the moment. When that happens to change, I will notify the public, and there you have it. So thank you very much, kind folks, and respect. Until next time, ciao. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast episode of the InTransit